Okay, so in this tutorial we're going to have a look at creating this split text effect where we have the same type on a couple different layers, but we're splitting it up so that you can have this effect of this broken up sort of type. Okay, so we're going to start with a blank layer. Okay, so we've just got a background, a kind of gradient background here that we're going to work with, and we're going to jump straight to our type tool on the bottom left hand side here. So if we bring this up, we're going to draw out our text. Okay, and we are now going to basically add a layer mask onto this text layer that we're then going to work with to kind of create this simple split text effect. Okay, now in the example I gave, I kept it pretty nice and simple, so you just have these two bands of color and we've just slightly offset the type, so you kind of have this broken apart effect. And we're going to do a similar type of effect here, but you can make this as advanced as you want to. Okay, and it's a really kind of simple and straightforward effect to pull off. So we're going to grab the polygonal lasso tool from up here. Okay, we're then going to draw our slice through our type here. Okay, so I'm trying to catch all the letters there. And basically now we're going to add a layer mask. So if you come to your layers panel where your type is drawn out, go down to the bottom, we're going to add a layer mask, and that will mask that area of that type. Okay, so we're going to duplicate this layer now. So there's a couple of different ways of doing that. You can right click on the layer and then go to duplicate layer, or you can drag it down to the new layer button, which will do the same thing. Okay, so we have two layers with the same selection of the text. Now with the layer mask that you can see here on both these layers, it's a black and white layer, so where it's white it's making the type visible, and where it's black it's making the type hidden. If we grab that and just do Command or Control and I, making sure you've got the layer mask selected, it will inverse that. Okay, now because we're using a layer mask and the text is still completely editable, so now we can double click on our type on this topmost layer and we can change the color. So we can grab a nice vibrant blue that's going to offset nicely against the yellow that we've got in the background, and we have our slice through our type. Okay, so we've kind of done a very simple example of that. Now we can move that, so we can offset it. Okay, and sometimes you'll find that you want to just rescale it slightly because you want to have no gaps between the text, so we can basically slice through the type in that way. Now you can go crazy with this, so if I duplicate this layer again, okay, I'm going to hide these bottom two layers. I'm just going to remove the layer mask that I had on that topmost layer. I'm going to delete it and come back to the main text. So we can use any of the selection tools to make our layer mask and then invert them. So if we grab, for instance, the ellipse tool, okay, we can hold down Shift and pull out a bunch of ellipses all the way across our type. Okay, and then when we're ready, we can go ahead and make a layer mask. It's going to create a layer mask across that area of the type. We can duplicate this, okay, and then invert our layer mask, so Command or Control and I, and then come and double click on the type, and we can switch the type color up here to a different color. So we'll go for a nice hot pink this time, and you will have a nice blend of those different layers. So you can slice into your text in any way that you want and then apply this effect to it. And obviously now if we grab the move tool, we can move that or offset it, and it will have create a kind of interesting effect. Okay, if we transform it as well, we can make one layer of type slightly bigger, which will kind of accentuate the sliced up effect. Okay, so that's a quick intro into how to kind of work with this method of playing with the layer masks on the same typeface and actually inserting different colors into these shapes as you're slicing up text. I hope that's been useful. If you have any questions about Photoshop or about Final Cut Pro, then please don't hesitate to send me a tweet at Ben Halsall, and I look forward to seeing you on the next tutorial and hopefully some of your examples of using this technique.